2, 1, 0.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I'm going to talk about the introduction of this video. First and foremost, this is a short video that tells our group, which is group 3, journey from the start, discussing and choosing practitioners till the end of the interview process where we get our findings. Plus, we also really pay great attention to our ethics and professionalism throughout the interview session, even though we doesn't even do any face-to-face interview. This is because the practitioner that we reach out doesn't want to do the face-to-face interview with many reasons, because the topic that has been chosen is topic 14, which is Takaful operators and products. Therefore, most of the questions that has been asked are related to the topic. There were 13 questions, including their name, workplace, their view on the Takaful, and etc. We already reached out to several practitioners from various backgrounds and various banks. However, there are only 2 practitioners that are willing to be interviewed by us. They said that they would be more pleased if you only did the interview online, and suggested we as a group do a Google form so that they only need to answer all those questions that we have created. However, indeed, we also make a hard copy of the interview question. There are practitioners that we eventually meet straight to interview with them with a hard copy question. They say that they only can answer the question if we also bring a formal letter from the university. As we do not have one, therefore there were no interview face-to-face with the practitioners. At the end, we only interview 2 practitioners through the online Google Form.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Next is about ethics and professionalism implemented before, during, and after interview session. As an ethical interviewer, before we conduct an interview with the selected bank, we will ensure that all the preparation of interview question to be asked in an orderly manner, and the questions are related to the requirements of the topic we have chosen, that is with respect to Takaful operator and product. We will also ensure and set an appropriate time during the interview, like what we have done, which is a face-to-face bank interview only during working hours. Before conducting the interview, we will first ask one of the banks whether they are willing to be interviewed or not. In addition, we use the Google Form platform as a preparation to facilitate the interviewers to answer questions from us. And through the Google Form platform as well, we will ensure that the bank that will answer the question is in a state of red lines. Not only that, we will also ensure our physical and mental preparation is in good condition for preparation before the interview is conducted. Next, as ethical interviewers, when we conduct interviews with selected bank, we will ensure that every language we use is polite and appropriate to each other's characters. Greeting is a priority for us to start the interview session after it has been agreed before, so that the interviewers is always in a state of red lines. Each question asked is also clear and pertains to Takaful operator and product. And the most important ethic when with the interviewer is to always build relationship between respondents. This is because by creating a comfortable interaction, the question will be easily answered by the respondent. Then, after the completion of the interview is conducted, we will ensure that each data that has been answered by the bank will be recorded and analyzed as our guide. Thank you also to the bank involved for their willingness to take the time to be interviewed by us. Every important matter regarding Takaful operator and product is also recorded as additional information to us. Next, we will talk about the history and development of Takaful. From the perspective of our band officers that we interview, she says that Takaful comes from the root word of Tawun, to help people that contribute funds in the Takaful pool of fund. The Takaful system is based on the concept of Ta'wun, which means mutual help, and Tabarruk, which means contribution. Participants have agreed to help each other if one of them have a misfortune or an accident by donating a sum of money to the Takaful Risk Fund. The Takaful system are created for mutual protection, and if one of them have a misfortune or an accident, they will use the saving for Takaful to help those who are affected. Actually, the Takaful system gives a beautiful picture in berukhuwah. It encourages brotherhood, unity, and mutual help.
Okay, I will explain about the challenges that faced by practitioner. The challenges that faced by practitioner, we get the information from the interview through the Google form that have listed 2 challenges by respondent. The first one is Takaful is slightly higher on premium, and the agent mostly not aware and understand about the Takaful policy. And people do not like to give commitment in Takaful. Therefore, we can know that the agent of Takaful did not study or do research about Takaful before promoting it to others. This will be a big challenge to the practitioner if customer ask detail about the product they want to subscribe, but the agent difficult to explain clearly to customer. So, it will be challenging to both agent and customer. Next challenge is people or customer do not like to give commitment, because as we know that Takaful need us to pay every month based on the product that customer subscribe. Therefore, the practitioner needs to explain further about the benefit of Takaful for customer, because they want customer to give full commitment with the product that has been subscribed. This is because the customer will get the coverage by Takaful if anything happen to them. Thus, we can know the challenge that practitioner face in handling Takaful by doing this interview.
Next, I will explain the 5 key takes away from interview process and our next action plan. This interview was conducted to obtain as much information as possible related to Takaful operator and product, and there is no element of question. Interview that have the characteristic of respect, friendliness, and tolerance between the interviewer and the respondent. This quality needs to be established and maintained throughout the interview to ensure the flow of information takes place smoothly. Thus, effective planning involves 5 key takes away from the interview process, which is determine the objective. The first step is to determine the objective, where our main objective is to interview 3 or 4 bank officers to obtain information related to Takaful that they know. A good objective should have characteristics like specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Second is bold individual commitment. Although the objectives have been set, but it does not guarantee we are all motivated to achieve them. Therefore, after completing the list of all the objectives, the follow-up step that need to be taken is to cultivate the commitment of each of us in order to achieve those objectives. When decisions are made because of collaboration with other members, it will evoke a sense of ownership over the decision made. As such, this will create a commitment among us to ensure that this interview process is successful due to decisions made together. Third one is form an action plan. Action plan will be prepared after identifying the commitment that will be given by each group member. The plan describes the steps that need to be taken to perform the tasks, such as constructing the interview question together, meeting with the bank officer who can be interviewed, the individual involved, the resources and time required to carry out the interview process. Besides that, monitor progress. The purpose of this monitoring is to identify whether the plan are going well or otherwise. For example, in the interview process, we found that the 3 bank officers could not be interviewed face-to-face because some of them asked us to provide a letter to conduct the interview. However, we found another alternative, which is to distribute the interview question form through Google Form, and as a result of the finding, we managed to get two bank officers to answer the question. Last but not least, maintain flexibility. Sometimes planned action and objective cannot be implemented as intended. This flexible planning is important because if there are any problem related to the interview process, it will not interfere with the overall planning that has been made and may only partially need to be fixed.